my name is Maria and welcome back to my channel. So I hope you're doing well. For today's video, I just wanted to discuss the book The Guest List by Lucy Foley. So one thing about this book that I was super excited to get a hold of it and to read it because it had a lot of good reviews. It is the winner of the Goodreads Choice Books of 2020 in the category for mystery thriller. So naturally, I definitely wanted to pick it up and read it. It was also part of the book of the month, but it was always out of stock or sold out, so I was never able to add it on to one of my books of the month packages. So my only other option was to get it from the library. So I placed a hold on it. I was number like 100 something. So it took about a month, I would say, for me to get a hold of the book. So then when I finally got it, I had super high expectations for this book. I know I talked about that in the past, that, you know, when you have like really high expectations, you tend to be sometimes disappointed. So that is what happened here with this book, and I am so sad to say that I had to only give 2 stars to this book. So the story has a lot of viewpoints with like almost every single guest. Well, not every single guest. So the book has a lot of viewpoints from the bride and then the groom, also a couple of the guests, and then Will's best friend. Will is the groom, and Will's best friend is also one of the people who has a viewpoint, and also the wedding planner. So we would be like, that's kind of odd, like why does the wedding planner have a viewpoint? That worked out well here. I liked how the story continued on in the viewpoint. So each viewpoint, the story continued on. It wasn't like the same story was repeated from the different viewpoint. So the story continued on, and it was actually really cool to read like the perspective of that character and how they were feeling and what they found out at that time. So that didn't bother me at all. I also really enjoyed the location of the book. It was like on a remote island, and Jules, who is the bride, and her groom is Will. They're both like super famous people, have a lot of money. So the wedding planner, Aofi, I believe her name is pronounced, gives them a discount on the island to host the wedding, and she also lives on the island. So naturally, that's a little bit creepy because who decides to live like on a really super remote island? So yeah, so there's like that, which is like really cool. So the guests all arrive, you know, and stuff starts to begin, and like this whole story is not like really so much as action packed. It's more just like reading how horrible all of these people are, and like they're super like scumbags. So we learn how like Will deceived his friend, you know, in a way, and then how Jules got a note that her groom her fiance is like a cheater and a liar and stuff, and then Jules' sister is like crazy or whatnot, you know, she's like acting out in weird ways. Then there's Hannah and Charlie. They're like really weird. They have like this weird relationship. So they're all just like weird people. They kind of gave me like vibes like they were acting like teenagers in a way, even though they're like in their mid-30s. So instead of like talking out their feelings with the people that they're mad at and have problems with, they're like just holding it all in, and they're just like acting out in these bizarre ways, kind of being like scumbags, you know. So this is kind of more like of a young adult book vibe rather than, I would say, for an older audience. So I guess like the the targeted demographic is, I would say, young adult because of the way that the characters are acting, and that there's not much depth, you know, in the whole story. So I would say if you're looking in this book for something like super thrilling, like exciting, like on the edge of your seat, you're not gonna find it here. That's like what I learned, which I was really disappointed. I thought it was gonna be super like, I thought it was gonna be like like a real thriller. Like, we're gonna be on the edge of our seats, something scary is gonna happen, there's gonna be someone out there that's out to get all of these guests and characters, but that's not how it went here. It was a little bit more like character-driven plot, how each character made mistakes in their life, how they're reliving their teenage days, how they're holding all these grudges and all of these emotions inside. They're doing these weird, like, bizarre things. So yeah, you're not gonna find like a super thriller here. That's what from my perspective, I saw. So yeah, I was only able to give 2 stars to this book because I kind of was not super into the book. I felt like it kind of dragged a little bit for me. I was just missing that like anxiety level while reading the book, you know, when you're like scared for the characters' lives. That's not really how I felt in this book. I was more kind of mad at the characters for how they were acting. So if you are just looking for a light read in between books, so if you just finished reading like a heavy topic book, a really long book, I would say Guest List is a good one to grab next, to kind of like a light read. I would say it's kind of just like to get your mind, you know, like a transitional book. It doesn't really have any super heavy topics. It's kind of like really written in a light format, like really easy to follow and read, and it's a really quick read too. So yeah, so I definitely recommend for you to try the book, see how it works out for you, because the reviews are all over the board with that. I know right now on Goodreads it's rated like 3.6 stars, I think, or 3.8 stars, like one of those. So it's kind of like all across the board. I know some people get 5 stars, 4 stars. To me, it was only 2 stars, so check it out for yourself and see how it goes. And yeah, sadly I had to wear the shirt while giving this review, but hope you enjoyed the book and let me know what you think about it, and see you next time. Bye.